Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So here we go. I guess I have to duck down a little bit. So today we are finishing up the deba bocho, and I have basically taken a block of stabilized wood, and I've spent the morning putting the hole in here and also carving out a rectangular channel. Figured that was a little boring for you guys, so we're just gonna jump right into the creation of this wah style handle, and this is going to be a hexagonal handle. So I love it when you get those phone calls about your extended warranty on your car is up. Always fun. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to get into it. Notice that the handle's a little flared down here towards the bottom. It's not going to be quite as pronounced when this is all finished. But what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to knock all the hard edges off of this. And that's going to, I want to give it that nice, I want to start out that rectangular shape. So give me just a moment, and we're going to start that off. Get some nicotine in my system. And of course, safety glasses. So here we go. Hopefully, yeah, that looks like it's all in scene. I've got a brand new 50 grip belt on here. Now, I was telling one of our other people in the chat room the other day that I suck at wah handles. I wasn't even going to do this style of handle for this knife. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to try to get a little bit more practice in doing something that I don't like to do because I've never been good at it. So today it's all about the patience. Okay, channel my inner Bob Ross. I'm just gonna make some nice, happy little angles. We want this to be octagonal by the time it's all said and done. So we want 8 sides. And preferably, we want them all equal. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to match my angles. And I know that my lines are not exactly straight. And because I'm using the edge of the wheel here, I know that I'm probably uneven in digging in. But already that is starting to, it feels very usable. It's still really, really huge. So let's try something here. Get a nice straight line. As soon as all spacing underneath that disappears, I'm going to move on. I'm using this metal platen here. It's basically just kind of draw a straight line on this handle. I'm going to do that on all the facets of this. As soon as we get it, rotate on to the next one. And I've got one last to do. So, here we go. It's looking pretty good. Our walls are still just way too thick. And so I want to take this down first in height. I'm going to start taking some off the front. I kind of want it to flare towards the back. Height-wise, we're almost there. Just a little bit off this other side. So we've got the height. And I just want to double check something on the blade here. I think that this is going to end up being really nice there. I kind of want this flame, I think, coming up on the bottom here. So you notice this wood has some reds and stuff in here. And I think I want that traveling up instead of coming down the handle. Because that's going to put that on the right side of the knife. And that's going to look really nice. And the right side of the knife is the one that has all the bevels and everything else. So That's kind of your presentation side. So, straighten this out. I'm going to take a little bit more off my, I'm going to come back down here, hit those facets again, the octagonal sides. Just going a little bit at a time. And again, just like every other handle that I do, I'm just trying to rough this out. And of course, I'll clean it up by hand. Okay, so I've gotten the height right, but my handle is still too thick. So I'm going to take down some of these sidewalls. Biggest thing is that I'm making sure that I'm sanding very evenly. I don't want to be pitched one way or the other. So that's why I'm putting my head in front of the camera here. Okay. So before I get too carried away here, make sure that I'm nice and even. And I'm going to switch grits. I think that this 50 grit is way too much. So I'm going to grab a 120. That's going to do a lot less damage on this. But really didn't do anything to that 50 grit. It's not loaded up. Still looks great. So I'm really just kind of kissing this so lightly. See where it needs to be addressed. Where I'm just a little uneven. Normally I would never waste the 120 on sanding woods. but this is one of those exceptions. Hitting those octagonal sides. Rick from Denmark, this is all your fault. That feels really good. I think I want to. I don't know how to explain this so much, but right now my angles are kind of like this, and I want to change them down just a little bit. Um, I don't want to take away too much from the top of this knife, but I want these facets to come in a little bit more. I'm just changing a little bit of this angle. Trying to make sure I have some nice sharp lines. Something definitive, you know? When I go to hand sanding, that'll be, let's see, a little bit. Yeah. Right now, I'm kind of nervous with this. I am just getting lit up with phone calls today. And no one ever calls my cell phone. You know, it's like one of three people that call my cell phone. Good. Knock the hard edges off the back. Same thing with the front. We don't want it being uncomfortable to use. Whoop. Let it fall. I'm not. That shows you how lightly I'm holding on to this, which is not much at all. So I'm actually going to soften the facets here at the very beginning of this. So it's actually going to go from kind of a smooth oval into that octagonal. Nice. So here we go. This is the back side of our handle. Uh, this is the front. There's a side view. Again, you can see how it really flares out there. And then it also flares, you know, this way as well. So it's two different dimensions that it's flaring. Um, but on this knife, it's going to end up looking something like that. It's not exactly in line right now, but more like that. I was actually using the knife without a handle earlier this morning. I cut up some tomatoes for the ducks. They eat them and I don't, so I know. So why am I growing tomatoes? Oh, because my daughter loves them. So you might be wondering why I have this piece of wood up here. And I'm about to show you. So this stand here in the shop used to have a vise on it, and earlier this year I was twisting a Damascus bar, granted a 1.5 by 1.5 Damascus bar, and I broke the vise. So I just haven't replaced it, but it's really been coming in handy here. Doing things like this. So, it's much more controlled. And it gives me those straight lines that hand sanding's not going to do. I'm sanding that entire surface all at once. Don't forget about the butt of the knife. Want that to be nice and smooth and even. So if that's how I'm holding the knife, Boy, that feels really comfortable to me. And more importantly, it's really coming down nice and even. And there is the other side. That's where the knife's going to go in. It's got a decent weight to it. It's not heavy though. But this blade is really heavy. So the extra length on this is really going to help counteract that weight. Okay. So let's keep on finishing this. Step up and grit. Now, since I'm not really trying to take away a lot of material, I can just hold this in my hand. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it, right? But the stabilized wood just comes out so smooth, even at lower grits. It really starts to get some shine to it. This is one that I stabilized here in the shop as well. The dye came out really nice on it. The colors are really starting to pop as I sand this. Once again, constantly resetting that damn camera. Step up a little bit. Now I did put a little bit of G10 on the very front of this as sort of a ferrule. And that's going to stand out a lot different. I may even have to buff this just a little bit just to bring some shine up to it. If I do that, I'll try buffing out the whole entire handle. G10 a little better. Get a little bit of a red spacer in between the G10. Okay. Next grit. Hope everyone has a good holiday weekend coming up here. I am looking forward to opening the shop again, being back to business as usual in September. I'm just going over this lightly just to take off anything rough that I feel with my hands. This really has some neat looks to it. Yeah, Jeff, I'm back on it. Almost finished with this handle. Give me a second. I'm gonna hop over here. Make sure this thing's plugged in. Of course it's not. Now, which one am I allowed to unplug? Always a fun thing here in the shop. I'm just buffing out that G10 a little bit. Gotta be careful. I don't want to go too much with it. Just try this stabilized wood. Oh wow. Huge fan of buffing wheels. Oops. That probably didn't come out right. So I'm not a huge fan of them, mainly because a lot of guys are doing metal on them, and that can really get dangerous. Boy, no oil, and this is already so shiny, so smooth. I definitely need to do some. I need to concentrate a little bit on this barrel, but let's see if I can get it on this as best as possible. It still looks great. Okay. So let's I just missed one little spot here. just at the very tail end, right where it kind of rounds out. And now let's see what it looks like with a little bit of oil on it. So far, so good. Grab a clean cloth here. If there is such a thing in this shop. All right, let's grab a not so clean cloth. I know I have one specifically for oil somewhere. Ah, you know what? Old paper towel. There we go. Oh, wow. So this wood, let's turn that light off. See if that pops out a little better for you. It really has some gorgeous activity on it. As I'm fond of saying, it's really going to look good on Instagram. Okay, I got to admit, this wah handle is, when I took my time, I also thought it out previously. It's just always been so intimidating because it's all about angles. You know, and if that stuff's off, boy, you really see it. The regular knife handle, if it's off, you just kind of say, well, that's just part of the flavor, you know. It's what makes it original. In Japan, you know, there's one guy that makes the blade. There's another guy that sharpens the blade. There's a guy that just makes the handles, you know. It's very, very specialized. I'm just giving this repeated coats of tung oil here. one more coat, and then I need to find a place to set this down. Where it's not going to get bothered by anything. So I'm going to just take a piece of 3/16 bronze that I have. And this way I don't get my fingers on it. Just going to go a little heavier with that oil. Yeah, if there's any room for it to soak in, I'd rather have that happen. And it is stabilized, so it's not extremely porous, but we'll let that go for a minute or two. Oh, what did I do with our blade? There's our blade. Starting to get a nice patina on there from cutting those tomatoes this morning. I just want some 2000 grit. Just 2500, that'll work. I'm not really etching this blade at all. The pattern that you see in it is coming out just from sanding. I etched it a little early on, like around 400 grit, and now I've just been sanding it afterwards. It's looking very, very nice. Nice and smooth. I wish I had some mineral oil down here at the shop, but I don't. So I'll just have to remember to clean this off before I make any food. Last thing you want to taste is 3-in-1 oil. I'm not saying it's great, but it's definitely no condiment. Let's get that blade nice and coated. Sounds like a little bit of thunder outside. Works pretty well. Just giving that another minute or so to set up. However, while I have the 120 grit on there, I'm just going to take this tang down just a hair. At this point, you got to be careful though. This blade is sharp. just a little wide, a little thick. Oh, cut. Well, I did. Oh well, that's why they make Band-Aids. I used to have a saying here in the shop that no knife is actually done until I cut myself on it. You know, they gotta taste blood, right? If you're a knife maker and you're afraid to cut yourself on a knife, you're in the wrong profession. So let me just clean up my hand really quick. It's not bad, just a little nick. Oh, this stuff's probably gonna burn though. I'm not cleaning my hand off because, you know, I nicked myself. I'm not even bleeding anymore. I'm doing it because I'm touching this really nice looking handle and I don't want to get all the forge grudge on it. Okay. Well, moment of truth. So once I set this handle, it's going to be a real pain to get out. With this style handle, it's really friction fit. So if you see, that's how much I need to drive it in there. And so I'm just lining it up, making sure my handle is even. See if it goes in. Any last minute adjustments here? Almost all the way in. Okay. So you'll notice I'm hitting the back here, and that's actually driving this handle in. So here we go. We've got ourselves a deba with a wah style handle. So very, very happy with that. It's gonna be very nice in the kitchen. So thanks again, guys, for watching. Appreciate every single one of you being here. It was just a very short stream. I'm gonna do a little bit more polishing on this. but and really sharpen it up. But for now, I'll be posting pictures on Instagram here very shortly. Really can't wait for you to see, you know, how that wood came out. So check out the Instagram account, Underhill_Forge. I'll be posting those within a little bit here. So again, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week with a completely different project when we're actually going to be working with our discarded bar. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to go European or Eastern on a style. I do need a nice set of steak knives, but that would be 4. Of course, I always eat by myself anyway, as far as steak goes. So I guess I could just get away with 1. But one of these days I might have company. Still, thanks guys very much. Appreciate every single one of you watching. Appreciate your support. And we'll be back next Monday. So maybe even this weekend. Who knows? It's a holiday. Enjoy your holiday weekend, folks. We will see you very soon.
Have not. They're dead.